contract, as I understand it. Miss Ireland, do you say that you signed a contract with the defendant's company to appear in 6
she looking
videos,
good.
or 6 movies?
What type of movies?
Excuse me. To appear in 6 videos over a 6-month period, and you did not appear in those videos, you want to be fully compensated for that
That is
contract.
correct, Your Honor.
Is that correct?
For the most part, yes. That was a minimum of 6 videos that I signed for. I signed an exclusive contract with Sin City Entertainment, which kept me from making movies with any other company. And when I received no compensation for being exclusive with this company, and they put me in no movies of any kind, let alone the minimum 6 required for the contract, I have been forced to take this kind of proceedings.
May I see the contract, please?
Yes.
Okay.
Who prepared this contract?
Mickey Blank's,
Is that you, sir?
Yes, it is.
yes, I'm sorry, his secretary, I believe.
Is this your standard contract?
No.
Why not?
well,
the
we
reason
don't-
I'm asking you this, your name is Blanks?
Blank, B-L-A-N-K, blank.
Mr. Blank?
Yes.
The reason I'm asking you that question is, this is the most inartfully drafted contract that I've ever read. Now, so why wasn't she given your standard contract?
Okay. We don't have a standard contract. What that instrument is an agreement between an artist and our company.
Well, an agreement is a contract.
You could use the word contract, yes.
Of course.
Okay. We don't feel it's a formal contract as such. What this does, it benefits both the artist and our company by pulling our efforts together.
Your Honor, if I may, I'd like to point out that there was 2 other girls that were put under contract at the same time as I, and they have identical contracts to these.
This doesn't say it's an exclusive contract.
In the first line where I've highlighted, I believe it does say it's an exclusive contract between Sin City and myself.
Well, but that word is unclear. I mean, that is an unclear, I don't know what an exclusive legal and binding agreement.
It binds me from being able to work for any other companies.
That's,
So for basically for that 6-month minimum period, I was not allowed to
Was
do
that
any
your
work for other
understanding, sir?
companies.
No, in this
So
country.
why didn't you use
that's
her?
relative. What happened was, roughly about a month after the contract was signed, we had a trade show. And at that point, our company took a change of direction, and they put a new person in charge of production. And he's no longer there, by the way, but he was going off in a different step. We would have liked to use Kylie, but Kylie had obligations to dance and what have you.
just a minute. About a month afterwards, you had a change of direction. What does
Right.
that mean? Explain that to me.
We had a change of personnel. We hired a fellow named Ed Powers, who's very big in this industry, to do our productions. And Ed was going to take the company in basically a little bit different direction. Okay. However,
Why you keep saying that? What kind of different direction?
well, at the time we were doing a lot of features that were meant for Playboy and Spice Channel. Ed wanted to do stuff that was more reality-based type features, but we still would utilize Kylie if the conditions were correct. Kylie was
What conditions?
if she was available, if it was there to be had. When I say if it was there to be had, no, if we lost communication for a period of a couple months, and it's not our job to hunt people down if they don't communicate. If they're not there on us.
Well, do you have a phone number for her?
Yes,
Did you call her and say you have to come back? We have a film for you to do?
not personally, no.
Did anybody that affiliated with you that you know of
No,
contact
I'm
her
not
within the
aware of
first
that.
month, second month, third month?
I'm sure there was some correspondence, but I'm not aware. I couldn't give you specific dates.
Did
or
you have any
times.
correspondence with them a month afterwards, 2 months afterwards, 3 months afterwards?
I called Mickey, I called several other people at Sin City Entertainment, trying to see when we were going to shoot a movie, when we were going to do some more projects together. I was anxious. Like Mickey had said, we'd done a lot of promotion. We had been pushing the fact that we were now working together, Sin City and Kylie Ireland, and we were going to make big projects, and we'd done all this hoopla, and nothing was coming out of it.
Later on Judge Judy.
adult film stars are not complete and total bimbos, that a lot of us do treat this very professionally and that it is a business, and although we may be having a lot of fun doing it, take us seriously.
She's spitting, bruh.
Real cases,
You know
real
what I'm
people.
saying? When I think-
Judge Judy.
I think
Adult
porn
movie star
I
Kylie
think-
Ireland claims producer Mickey Blank and his production company reneged on a deal to star her in 6 movies.
I kept calling and calling. If Mickey is trying to say that he had a hard time reaching me, that is physically impossible because I carry on my person all the time a 800 paging system. So Sin City can call me toll free. It reaches anywhere in the United States and it can get me at any time of the day. He also had my current home phone numbers as well as my cell phone numbers, so I was totally reachable. And one other thing I did do, and I still do this for my current company, I'm signed with a different company right now, VCA Pictures, is I make a schedule and I fax it to my employers each month, which lets them know when I'm scheduled to be dancing at this place or doing this bookstore
Did you fax
signing.
that to their company?
I have faxed copies of it to Mickey Blank, to Gigi
that
Appleton,
correct?
and to Mark.
We received one calendar that I'm aware of, and you were booked for the entire month.
I always send them in groups of 3 to
So
4,
did-
Your Honor.
Okay. Well, I was only aware, and I was there at the time. I only received one for 1 month, and you were booked for
How
the
many
month.
times did you have feature films during this 6-month agreement
We
that you
released-
wanted to use her in?
Well, good question. Right after that time, I was changed to a different position.
So the
And
answer is you don't know.
The answer is I don't know.
Well, she says that you only, according to her, contacted her once. And that was towards the end of the 6-month period. So she's giving you that. Now,
And-
why didn't you do that film?
Because they gave me 1 day's notice, Your Honor.
Do you know about that, sir?
Yes, I didn't know it was 1 day's notice, but I do know that there was some correspondence, and Kylie expressed that she was upset with the situation. So we kind of said, well, we have work for you. Would you like to do this?
Tomorrow.
I don't think it was 1 day.
In the contract, Your Honor, it states that I'm supposed to be offered first choice of the pick of the best of the movies, and they never called me, and I feel that them calling me 1 day before the project was to be shot is not only very unprofessional.
So that you know where she is at all times. So she's not some airhead.
Your Honor.
Thank you.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
We make it sound like Sin City wouldn't have benefited anything from having me under contract, though, and that amuses me.
Oh, don't
My
get me wrong.
movies sell very well, and you guys would have made a lot of money.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Filmmaker Mickey Blank says he couldn't honor a deal to star actress Kylie Ireland in 6 sex films because he couldn't find her.
If you were making feature films, is it because this new person that you had decided that he didn't want to use this particular talent, that he wanted to use some other kinds of talents to make these reality movies?
Well, yes and no.
Well,
You're-
even if it's partially yes, you're stuck.
Okay, well, let me clarify what I'm saying, okay?
Okay.
First of all, I do agree with you. Kylie is not an airhead by any means whatsoever.
Absolutely not.
She's highly successful, and she's at the top of her field, and deservedly so. But we feel it's not our job to track a star down. We make an agreement to make movies, okay?
What, is
And
she supposed to check in with you every day?
No, let me finish my sentence, please.
Yeah.
Often
Okay.
I did.
Well, what we do is, okay, I did one schedule I did receive, okay, was booked for the month, okay? The following month, I can't say firsthand that I saw any kind of schedule fax whatsoever. To my knowledge, it wasn't, because I did have communication with the fellow that was in charge of production.
Well, if you had communication with the person who was in charge of production, I'm going to let you offer this one piece of hearsay, sir. How many times, and I think you're an honest person, how many times were you told that they tried to reach the plaintiff to do a film and could not?
I don't have an answer for that.
That's the issue. It would seem to me, and I'm a lay person, this is not my industry, this industry or theatrical industry, but it just seems from a common sense perspective. I am a producer. I have a film that I want to produce. I have a talent that I want to utilize. I pick up the phone and I call that talent, either at a home or at a 1-800 number that she has so she can be beeped all over the place, and I say, I have a film that I want you to do next week, in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks. Right? It would seem to me that the talent doesn't call you periodically because she might miss an opportunity. If the responsibility was hers and she, for instance, called you every 2 weeks, well, it was the odd week that the opportunity arose, and you're suggesting that she is to be penalized for that. No. It's the person who is producing these films who picks up the phone and says, I got a film, want you to do it, could you do it? And you can't tell me that anybody called her and said that, with the exception of this one time, the end of the contract. Am I correct?
Well, not since the beginning of the contract, also.
Well, I believe her.
Can I read you something?
Sure.
I brought along some of the magazines that covered the whole signing of the contract girls to Sin City. Most of them are AVN Magazine, the Adult Video News.
No, you don't have to read them to me. I have one question for you. Don't read them to
Are
me.
you
As
sure?
a matter of fact, I'm absolutely positive.
Okay.
Because they're really not relevant to this contract. I mean, I understand what...
There's just a quote in there from Mickey Blank that I think you would find quite amusing.
Well, what does he say? All right. Just
Twist your
one quote. One quote. I'm always pleased to be amused.
It's called Ashley and Ireland Take Up Residence in Sin City. Mickey Blank, the general manager and self-described honcho of Sin City, couldn't be happier. In a move which he calls both fortuitous and a reflection of our new, more upscale image, the company has signed super starlets Caitlin Ashley and Kylie Ireland to exclusive one-year contracts. We're very fortunate to have two of today's biggest stars working for us, says Blank. The girls were looking to sign exclusive deals, and we were looking to do the same. The timing was just right for everyone.
So why do you think you weren't called?
Your Honor, I really have no idea. That's why I'm standing here today.
Was the other gal who signed this kind of contract used during that
No,
6-month period?
Neither of the other two girls were used, and one of the girls did take the case to court, and right as she says, as she was walking out the door, Sin City called her up and called her to the offices to go make a deal. The other girl just blew it off, which is what many girls in our industry do, which is very upsetting to me, and which is why I'm actually taking the steps to stand up for the little people, I guess you could say.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Mr. Blank,
Yeah.
I understand that what happened to you was a change in company direction. Whether you had control over that direction, I'm not sure, but it's your company, so you're the one who's got the deep pockets. It seems clear to me that you did not comply with the terms of the agreement that you made with the plaintiff, with the possible exception of that one final film, because it doesn't say that you'd be given a certain amount of notice. However, your contract provides for 6 films over a 6-month period, which is $6,000. The limit of this court is $5,000. So even if we deduct the $1,000 for that one particular film that was offered to you and you rejected, that brings you down to $5,000, which is really what you're suing for. I believe you're entitled to that under this breach of contract, and I'm awarding $5,000 to the plaintiff. Thank you.
Thank you, Your
Parties are
Honor.
excused. You may step out.
5